Hey everybody, back after about a 3 year hiatus on YouTube. Pretty much took about a year break from the hobby. Felt like I got a little too hot and heavy during COVID. Probably spent too much money. Took a break, and you know what I really realized during this break is it's actually refreshing and exhilarating to kind of come back in. You just need some time away every so often from a hobby, but I want to create a series just because I think this would be useful for me if somebody were to do the same, which is every week I'm going to put out the most interesting toned coin auctions under $2,000. There's some really good ones out there. I am going to use Great Collections mainly because they offer the best quality. It's every Sunday they got an auction. And most specifically, I'm going to provide the link to each of these in the description below. So you could just click them if you want to bid on them. I'm also going to provide what I believe they'll trade for based on comps. So jump right into it here. This first one is honestly probably one of the better ones for the week. It's pretty much a shocker. And this is the interesting thing about some Lincoln Wheat cents, especially these later years, is I always enjoy the fact that the PCGS value for a 53S and 65 Brown is like $10 at best. It doesn't even post the PCGS value because so few people would ever put in a holder, a generic regular brown Lincoln wheat cent. But obviously, this is not your regular wheat cent. As you could see, this thing is absolutely stunning with that target toner, rainbow. I mean, just incredible. The reverse has a little bit of it, but quite not quite as good as that obverse. I mean, holy smokes. Now, the key question is, what would this trade for? For what it's worth, this did actually trade back in 2021 for $2,093, $2,000. So this traded for a mighty high value as of this filming. This is Tuesday midday. It's 525 bid. So this is one of the highest sales ever made at Great Collection for this particular year mint mark and grade. And we'll see if it can get close. I mean, 2021 was obviously a frothy year. Right during the COVID era, the stock market, all the free money. Can this get back to that near $2,100? Will be very interesting to see. Next is a string of Mercury dimes. I love a good tone dime, whether it's a Roosevelt or a Mercury. I just feel like there's something unique about the silver in these dimes. And man, they just create some incredible toning. And this is no slouch itself. This is a 68 star, so not full torch or full band. But obviously, the reverse is such a unique combination of kind of goldish yellows, bluish greens, kind of coming together. And you could tell this has got to be a luster bomb. The obverse, mainly only lightly toned, more of a more natural look here. But honestly, it's just incredible coin here. So this one in particular also happened to sell on Collections back in 2018. It sold for $660. Current bid's 205. PCGS value for what it's worth in a 68 holder is $900. But the reality is these Mercury dimes, if they're blast white, they sell for a fraction of that, a few $100 at most. The star will add some value. The key is 2018. There's a lot that's changed in the hobby. Coin values have definitely gone up since 2018. So I personally can see this one probably trading around that $900 range when all said and done. The next few are definitely awesome toners, but maybe not as wow as like the first one and maybe even the second one to an extent. But this is a unique kind of design here, kind of that moon-shaped color of gold and purples and magentas, and I'm not going to pretend to be a color wheel expert. But again, another very average grade. MS67 is clearly a good grade, but it's not full torch. The reverse also really awesome. A very similar look to the obverse there. Just a beautiful, stunning Mercury dime. Clearly good for the toning collectors out there. This has not sold at Great Collections. The highest current recorded MS67 sale at Great Collections is $250. The PCGS value is 110. To me, I think this thing will probably trade around 250, if not maybe 300. although technically that MS67 was more of a rainbow look. So I think this one probably does not deserve that premium, but we'll see if this can reach up and above that 250 mark. Next, taking a slightly different appearance here is another MS68 in an older NGC holder. Past sales were wide-ranging in MS68 and really depend on the toning. Rainbow obviously got some higher premiums, but past sales in this holder for NGC was 450 to 1100. The PCGS value is 825. This one is more of a preference-based toner. The Obverse, a mixture of colors, pretty much full coverage there. But what I liked here is the way this toned. It just kind of created almost this valley of color and kind of mountain look in a way with these kind of fall-like colors of green and yellow. Really an interesting view. I've always been a fan of these older NGC holders, although they can get scratched up. This one looks pretty decent, I would say. Obviously, right now the current bid's 310. I could see this probably getting into the 500 to 600 range, maybe 700. It'll be interesting to see how that one ends. Jump into a Franklin. Really, the only Franklin I saw that had interesting toning, very similar to that Mercury dime, and kind of that moon-shaped toner, some golds or magentas into a darker look. Interesting. Obviously, a very average grade. MS64, not full bell lines, but really it's all about the toner. Not necessarily boom and luster. This one, in my opinion, will certainly trade for the lowest value, but it's very interesting. And GreatCollections, since they took the PCGS TrueView guy away, obviously now GreatCollections has the best photos in the industry. And this is a fantastic photo here. I mean, the photo alone is probably worth more than the coin will trade for. Current highest tick sale for this grade is just $65. PCGS value is 32. It's already at 53. I can see this crossing $100, maybe getting to $200 if you got two guys or gals that are bidding for it aggressively. Jump into the Morgans. The Morgans there's been no stunners this time around, but I thought this was a really nice coin in an ANACS holder, and one of the modern ANACS holders. So it's not even an old soapbox, but a really stunning. I've always been a fan of blue on the Morgan dollar. I kind of like how it creates that crescent moon look where it's all essentially a similar shade of blue, and then you got that very stunning contrast there. It's really cool. And then very few hit marks on the face. I think this is very conservatively graded, honestly, at 64. I mean, for as clean as that cheek is, I get, there's some there, and there's definitely some hits in the field. 64 is probably an appropriate grade, but I feel like most of the market always assumes ANACS overgrades. But I don't know if that's the case anymore. And the reverse is, excuse me, a blast white, beautiful, almost a shade of contrast there in terms of proof-like. I know it's not, but it is an ADS, so known to be very flashy. But I just thought this was a great coin for ANACS, all things considered, for any ANACS holders or people who think they can maybe get a good deal. The equivalent sales, for what it's worth, for a quality toned ADS and 64 were around $250 in ANACS holders. Double that for NGC and PCGS. The tough thing with Morgans is it really depends on the bidders and their appreciation for the toning. PCGS value is $125, which we've already crossed that. I could see this selling for about $200 to $250. So we'll see. The next one, also kind of a bluish purpley look, but 2 grades higher. This is an NGC MS66. And certainly a slightly fewer amount of ticks on the field, but honestly, I don't know. This coin looks pretty darn similar to the 64 in ANACS there. Obviously a different look. I would almost prefer the ANACS color. Reverse, obviously great. A little shade of gold around the exterior. Morgan dollar reverses are always stunning, especially in those ADS and 81S. But in the eyes of the beholder is, what would you prefer, ANACS or this NGC? The NGC is obviously 2 grades higher. It's already at $300. Similar sales for similar quality toning is around 400 to 450, and the PCGS value for that grade is $400. I could see this trading around 450 or so all in. This is not a showstopper color. And then obviously you could see the theme is blue this week, and there just weren't that many rainbow tone Morgan dollars. But again, I love the contrast, just a stunning story as to how it could possibly create such a beautiful contrast of blast white and then almost kind of an ocean blue here. So I'm a big fan of that look. I just think that's so intriguing. And to the non-coin collector, you show them this coin and they will just be like, what the heck? Like, how did it become that? And the back or the reverse has just a little shade of it, almost a little more rainbow in the collection of colors there. Very clean fields there. Just a stunning coin. And to get the GreatCollections equivalent of True View, as they call Great Photo, they did a pretty good job capturing it. Really an awesome coin. This exact coin did sell at GreatCollections in 2020 for $226. So arguably, I think we'll probably see something similar. Maybe it could squeak to 250 now. It sold early in 20, and we have seen the coin market overall go up since then. So we'll see. The PCGS value is $140. Again, these toning markets, it's really somewhat arbitrary in where it ends because it's all in the eyes of the beholder. And then perhaps my favorite Morgan of the day or of the week is this 04 0 and 64. One of my favorite holders, these kind of old NGC OG as they call them. This one does have more hits in the field. Honestly, kind of a lot for a 64. CAC did approve it, so this is one of the few CAC coins that we saw. But I just love the combination of golds as it flows into the magenta there. Just a beautiful coin. Obviously, the toning really hides some of the hits there, so it doesn't make it as obvious to your eye. The reverse, I'm not as big a fan of the reverse toning. This kind of, that shade of blue is okay. I definitely don't mind it, but obviously the showstoppers on the obverse here. This coin did not sell specifically, but similar coins and similar toning quality traded for about 250 to 350. The PCGS value is $125, which obviously we're bid 136 at the moment. So hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to put this out every week, so feel free to follow along. Like I said, links are in the description below if you want to bid. I just love this hobby and figured this would be a good way to share some of the things I love. Take care.